Now think about everything you're supposed to have before starting a business. You want a detailed business plan, startup experience, funding, and maybe even connections in the industry. Now we didn't have any of that. All we had was an $1,100 truck and the willingness to work hard. In the reality, we were willing to do anything. Plus, we had each other, although we didn't know if that was going to be an advantage or a disaster. No rich parents to loan us money, and no business degrees, and no experience in the junk removal industry. Jackie had never run a business in her life. And me? Well, I was drowning in debt from a previous relationship. And everyone warned us, if you're going to mix business and relationship, it will be a disaster. By every traditional measure, we were set up to fail.
12 months later, we had made $240,000 in revenue. We had complete financial freedom and a stronger relationship than where we started. We are living proof that you don't need perfect circumstances to build an incredible future. This is proof that ordinary couples can build extraordinary businesses together. That your background doesn't determine your future. And that the right partnership can overcome any obstacle. That sometimes being desperate together is more valuable than having all of the right qualifications.
I'm Tanner, and this is Jackie. And if you and your partner ever felt like you didn't have what it takes to get started, this story will change your mind. Because if two regular people with no advantages could do this while strengthening their relationship, imagine what's possible when you combine your dreams with the person that you love the most. I'm gonna give you guys my synopsis of how we met. We were at the gym, saw this little brown, beautiful angel deadlifting a lot of weight. And I was just like, I'd like to talk to that lady. So I had a friend who was doing photography for our team at the time to go take a video for her, and that kind of is how we started. Then we reconnected on training, and she wanted me to coach her, so I started coaching her, and yeah, we started talking a little bit more than just powerlifting.
He was lonely and depressed on an army mission, so I was just being a friend.
Yeah, and yeah, so our friendship started to develop, and it came to the point where we were starting talking every day, and that's how we met.
Yeah, he forgot to mention one piece.
What
He
was the piece?
He was staring at me like a creep, just like staring like. And I was like, what is this weirdo looking at?
She was excited.
But yeah, that's the story on how we met.
What attracted you to me initially?
The day at the gym, nothing, just your resting, mean face.
And she claims she had no interest in me whatsoever.
I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, why is this guy looking at me?
So when you got interested in me, what?
He was funny.
Funny, haha. Okay.
He was away, like, how many miles away?
I was far.
Yeah, so it's not like I ever saw him or anything. We would just talk. We would text.
Just got to be funny, guys.
Yeah.
FYI. Well, for me, obviously, she was beautiful. As soon as I saw her, I was like, wow. It's just like crazy. I was like mesmerized for sure. And then, we developed our friendship, and the connection we had was unremarkable. Like I had never had a connection like that before. So I was like, I'm gonna keep pursuing this. And yeah, it didn't help that she was extremely beautiful. So that's what happened. What else am I supposed to say? She was pretty, she talked well.
Yeah, if I ever got boring, I'd just have to send him a selfie.
She kept me going with the selfies. Now we're supposed to tell you guys about our beginning relationship and how that looked dating wise and stuff. So we're gonna preface this. I was away on an army mission. So a lot of text messages, phone calls, and video chats, right? Starbucks dates virtually. That was our thing.
Yeah, we had Chipotle once. But yeah, it was basically just calling, texting all day.
And it's funny because what we would do is like we would Apple Pay each other for dates. So we would have these little virtual dates. I did drive 17 hours one day after I got off of work all the way down to Texas from Georgia. That was an experience, and that was our first time really hanging out in person minus one workout, right?
Yeah, the one workout, we were with other people, so it wasn't like we were alone. So it wasn't anything like intimate, or we weren't like dating. We were just working out.
Yeah. We didn't even really know each other at that point. We were just communicating as coach and client. But what I will say is when I did drive 17 hours here, I only stayed for 2 days. But for me, I don't know for her, but for me, it felt like a week. And when I say that, it's just like, it was so refreshing to be around her and just be comfortable. It was like very, very immediate. So our relationship was built on like a foundation of communication, because we didn't like, there wasn't anything else we could do.
Yeah.
Then 8 months later, I ended up back here after the mission was over. And I don't know, what was that like when I moved here?
I think it was a little sooner than that,
Yeah.
the when you moved back. But it was so different. I had never lived with anybody really that like I was dating. It was different. Like we actually got to live together like we were married, you know? So it was different. It was fun. Yeah, we like had little dates all the time. So it was different to me. It was something new, and it was just peaceful and comforting and just loving.
For me, like I think what a lot of people don't understand or they don't know, because this is our first time really talking about our story, I didn't have anywhere to go after this Army mission. I was going to either have to move back to Texas and find a place for myself, or move back in with my parents, because that's where I was at in my life. So coming back to Austin and moving in with a girl that I'd only been with for a couple months was a leap of faith for both of us.
I remember, actually, yeah, I should say this. I remember like maybe 4 months after we were like texting all the time, I think you asked me something like, if I left this Army mission, like where would I go, or something like that. It wasn't like a literal question, but I knew that he wanted to know what my thought was about him moving in, basically. And it kind of like, it freaked me out, because again, it was like a lot more serious than anything.
Yeah.
So it was a little scary, and I think I told him, I told you something a bit off-putting that day. I don't remember what, but yeah, it grew on me, and now we're here.
And the reality is, guys, like, we know we moved really, really fast, but we both have had enough life experiences to just like make a determination. And I think the reality is we became such good friends that we weren't really interested in wasting either one of our times. Like, it's like, hey, we're either doing this or we're not. So when we first started this thing, I was $65,000 in debt. I was pretty freaking stressed out about it, because I didn't make enough money to really get out of the debt. I didn't have any leverage over anything. Like, when you have that much debt and you know your credit's terrible and you have no money in the bank, you're kind of like just stuck with whatever you can earn. And making $20 an hour was just hard. So that entire time that before we had gotten started, I felt like a failure. I didn't know how I was going to be able to take care of myself or Jackie, and I didn't know how I was going to achieve some of my dreams and aspirations, like buying a house. So junk removal really changed the game for us. Now, what I will say is that our customer service was always top notch, and we always put our best foot forward. We used to show up jobs like 15, 20 minutes early just to make sure that we found the right location, and we always communicated. We went above and beyond for our customers, I would say.
Yeah. Tanner's also a really good talker, and I'm like the little shy one that people just feel okay being around, So I think it's a good balance.
Yeah, it's a good dynamic. And then renting dump trailers occasionally. And that's when we started to really lock a pricing system down, because when you have a big container like that, you can kind of visualize the space better. So we decided really towards November, December, this is what our set price is going to be per cubic yard. And then we just started charging for volume. And that was what we found to be the easiest way to solidify pricing.
Yeah, we just figured out like it has to be something that applies to anybody. Like if I was going to do this out of my truck, but it has to apply to you too, basically.
Yeah, so once we figured out the cubic yardage for our truck and our utility trailer, and then for the dump trailers we would rent, we just did a base rate for that, and then we bought our own dump trailer, and everything was downhill from there.